All right, good morning, everyone. Let's get started. Okay. All right, U.S. markets kind of managed to get a little bit of a dead cat bounce yesterday and a bit of a sideways choppy session, as you can see there. Just kind of, you know, spiking up and down in a rather tight range on the day. We had some better than expected factory orders yesterday out in the States. But we also we also have kind of gotten a little bit further into earnings season, and what's been interesting is the last couple of weeks, the amount of beats and improved guidance has started to really up itself. I was just reading a report yesterday from FactSet saying that about 76% of companies had beat. That's higher than the 1 year and 4 year average. So I think that is encouraging, and it's something that is an underlying factor in what's going on right now, and we've just got to keep in mind that those numbers have been better than expected as of recently, and that if this storm kind of quiets down on the emerging market front, that we could start to see some support come back into the market. We also had the Fed's lacquer yesterday saying that the current decline in global equities would be unlikely to cause any detraction from their monetary stimulus tapering plan. So, I think that is important to see how they are handling this, or will look at handling this. Japan, you can see this morning, we still closed in China for the the New Year celebrations there, but Nikkei managed to have a little bit of a dead cat bounce as well after getting punished over 4% yesterday. Has kind of drifted down toward the end of the session, but the Hang Seng down, Australia down a little bit, up more than 0.5%. So, and then we saw overnight kind of the yen just managing to kind of hold its ground. Didn't really make any moves from yesterday's session, and we're going to continue to monitor that one closely as a leading indicator. All right, this morning we had numbers out of Vodacom. We definitely better than expected on the revenue number, quite significantly better than expected. I think data was a little bit higher, voice was a touch lower, and we had ARPU numbers which were flat on the prepaid basis in SA. The contract ARPU numbers were down a little bit, and we're continuing to see that same sort of theme play out there. But I think all in all, maybe a little bit better on the numbers out of Vodacom overnight. Or this morning, and we also had CEPI that was out as well. Headline earnings per share less than expected at 2.9 cents. Revenue at 1.499 billion. Expectation was 1.54, so just a little bit of a miss there. And then we've got Able out later with a trading update. That would probably be a big one, and it could have a big effect on what's way things are gonna go forward from here, interest rate decisions, etc. Happening. That could be a little bit more under pressure if it's disappointing. And then later in the States we got Time Warner, we've got Merck, and we've got Walt Disney. Also on another note, Goldman Sachs is out this morning and raised Massmart from sell to neutral. So out of the gutter for Massmart for the time being. All right, lot of data out again today. PMI services across the entire European region. We've got local PMI numbers as well. We've got UK PMI. Then we've also got retail sales for Europe at 12 o'clock. And then later in the States we've got mortgage apps, we've got the ADP employment change, and we've got ISM non-manufacturing numbers. So continuing on a heavy week of data this week, kind of all winding up with the U.S. non-farm payrolls numbers on Friday. All right, let's jump into the maps. Okay, the first thing we'll have a look at here is just the Aussie. Actually, it's going to back out a little bit so we can see it maybe a little bit more clearly. But what I wanted to look at really is just the on some sort of a trend support basis. I mean, you can see we've definitely been in a reasonably consistent uptrend. We came down yesterday intraday right at around 39,600. Somewhere around there, we found some sort of support on an intraday basis. I could be off on that number just a touch. Let me have a closer look here. 39,620. So we found support somewhere around there, 39,600, 39,620 is definitely this trend line support here, and we bounced off of that nicely. Couldn't regain the 40,000 level, and that's kind of the level that I'd probably be looking at as an absolute must, just in terms of a round figure. We're going to have to at least reverse up through that, and maybe even at least more than fill the gap from yesterday's loss for us to think that maybe this ship can really start to turn back to the upside. All right, Anglo is another one that we had talked about the last few sessions. We talked about the support here at 257. Did an incredible job holding it in the morning. I think we traded down at 52, as low as 52. Managed to close all the way up at 260.84, and then in the UK we continued to run all the way up to about 63.50 before pulling back into the close. But incredible strength out of Anglos yesterday, especially on the back of everything that had happened the prior night in the States, the way Billy's got hit in Oz, all these kind of things. That was a big statement, I think, by Anglos yesterday, and we continue to hold 257 here in the next session or two. I think it's probably a little opportunity maybe to have a long there. Yesterday really proved itself. All right, CFR, we haven't looked at this one in a while, and definitely came down yesterday. Let's just get that right. Let's zoom in a little bit, but just so you can see the general number there, the general trend there. You can see how we held trend line support yesterday beautifully on a closing basis, and we've really it's kind of a funny pattern because every time this thing had looked like it was going to break out, it didn't. And for the most part, we've just been in this little sideways, slightly uptrending consolidation pattern. And yesterday we definitely came down and touched the bottom of that, maybe just below 100 Rand. There's definitely some positive news out probably for it this morning. We've had some of the luxury good companies trading really well the last couple of days. Prada being one of them, up 6% overnight. Prior day was up 3%. Swatch this morning also out with numbers that they do have a once-off in there, I believe, but definitely positive numbers. So maybe see some sort of support this morning coming in for CFR at the right price. Definitely down around the bottom of this trend line. All right, if we look at Tiger Brands, Tiger Brands, I know we showed this one a lot, but we haven't shown it in the last few sessions. I would draw it, I actually like it drawn from here. Anyway, what we saw yesterday was finally a breakdown because we got below it the last couple of days, intraday, but we ended up closing kind of above where this bear flag was bottoming out, and we finally snapped down below it yesterday. We traded down to as low as 260. I think we closed at 260.85, and to me, without a doubt, this is showing us a target of 250. I think even lower, but at least to 250, which is another $10 away from here. So I think this one could have a little bit further left to fall. All right, and then the last one we're going to show here is just Grindrod. I think this is important for various reasons. I mean, we bounced hugely off of support here. I know that we got to close through it the prior day, but then 2 days ago we bounced hugely off of support. We continued to rally there a little bit yesterday. I think it cements the importance of this level at 2570, but what I think is really important as well is that this stock is probably one of the best bellwethers that we have for the global economy. If this was really started to break down from here, it would be, I think, a very bad signal to the market that, people are properly worried about the global economy, that the market's telling us that the economy is not going to be, has problems on the way. And what it's screaming to us, I think, now is that, in fact, it is going to hold up no problems. This is a kind of emerging market blip, and once this is over, we'll kind of resume our uptrend. So, I think watching this one is probably a very good indicator for us on what's to come. Along with some of our other leading indicators, the Japanese yen, the emerging market currencies, all those kind of things. Let's keep a close eye on that, and we'll keep you posted on what we think, how the market's going to take shape. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.